morning, Thurgood Marshall students and staff. I'm Mr. Gilks, principal at Thurgood Marshall, and I'd like to welcome you back to another week of virtual learning and welcome you back to another edition of the AM. Well, we're in store for some great weather this week, much drier than last week. Temperatures in the 60s, partly sunny skies. But no matter what it looks like outside, the vision of Marshall is always bright. That's because the vision of Marshall is to unlock potential by working together to create an atmosphere of academic excellence and a culture of support, belonging, and growth. Before we move further with our day, let's pause and observe our moment of silence. Thank you. Please stand wherever you are and join us as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Well, on for our announcements today. Students, as you know, tomorrow we will not have school because tomorrow is a teacher professional development day, but it's also election day. Now, I'm not going to take sides and talk politics, but I did want to take a moment to have you think about the process of how we elect our president. I have a question for you. How do we elect our president? Does the candidate with the most popular votes always win? Take a moment and think about this as we watch this next video.
Most people have heard of the Electoral College during presidential election years. But what exactly is the Electoral College? Simply said, it is a group of people appointed by each state who formally elect the President and Vice President of the United States. To understand how this process began and how it continues today, we can look at the Constitution of the United States. Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution. It specifies how many electors each state is entitled to have. Since 1964, there have been 538 electors in each presidential election. How do they decide on the number 538? Well, the number of electors is equal to the total voting membership of the United States Congress, 435 representatives plus 100 senators and 3 electors from the District of Columbia. Essentially, the Democratic candidate and Republican candidate are each trying to add up the electors in every state so that they surpass 270 electoral votes, or just over half of 538 votes, and win the presidency. So how do states even get electoral votes? Each state receives a particular number of electors based on population size. The census is conducted every 10 years, so every time the census happens, states might gain or lose a few electoral votes. Let's say you're a voter in California, a state with 55 electoral votes. If your candidate wins in California, they get all 55 of the state's electoral votes. If your candidate loses, they get none. This is why many presidential candidates want to win states like Texas, Florida, and New York. If you currently add up the electoral votes of those 3 states, you would have 96 electoral votes. Even if a candidate won North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Vermont, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and West Virginia, they would only gain 31 electoral votes total from those 8 states. Here's where it can get a little tricky. On a rare occasion, like in the year 2000, someone can win the popular vote but fail to gain 270 electoral votes. This means that the winner may have won and collected their electoral votes by small margins, winning just enough states with just enough electoral votes, but the losing candidate may have captured large voter margins in the remaining states. If this is the case, the very large margins secured by the losing candidate in the other states would add up to over 50% of the ballots cast nationally. Therefore, the losing candidate may have gained more than 50% of the ballots cast by voters, but failed to gain 270 of the electoral votes. Some critics of the Electoral College argue the system gives an unfair advantage to states with large numbers of electoral votes. Think of it this way. It is possible for a candidate to not get a single person's vote, not one vote, in 39 states or the District of Columbia, yet be elected president by winning the popular vote in just 11 of these 12 states: California, New York, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Georgia, or Virginia. This is why both parties pay attention to these states. However, others argue that the Electoral College protects small states such as Rhode Island, Vermont, and New Hampshire, and even geographically large states with small populations, like Alaska, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. That's because a candidate can't completely ignore small states, because in a close election, every electoral vote counts. There are certain states that have a long history of voting for a particular party. These are known as safe states. For the past 4 election cycles, in 1996, 2000, 2004, and 2008, Democrats could count on states like Oregon, Maryland, Michigan, and Massachusetts, whereas the Republicans could count on states like Mississippi, Alabama, Kansas, and Idaho. States that are teetering between parties are called swing states. In the past 4 election cycles, Ohio and Florida have been swing states, twice providing electoral votes for a Democratic candidate and twice providing electoral votes for a Republican candidate. Think about it. Do you live in a safe state? If so, is it a Democratic or Republican safe state? Do you live in a swing state? Are your neighboring states swing or safe? Is the population in your state increasing or decreasing? And do not forget, when you're watching the electoral returns on election night every 4 years and the big map of the United States is on the screen, know that the magic number is 270 and start adding.
Hi everyone, welcome to this Library Minute of the AM, and I am here with a couple of things to talk about. So first, I would like to share a huge congratulations to our top 5 readers from our first Beanstack Reading Challenge. They are 6th graders Kingston Fitzgerald, Mila Tony, Schneider Valdez, Serenity Foster, and 7th grader Isabella Perez. Congratulations to you all. When you see them in your team's classes, please give them a shout out. Last, want to leave with you that we are starting a new challenge on Beanstack. This one is called Read Diverse, and it is happening now through December 4th. So head over to the library's Schoology page for details. Miss Smith has put those details up there for you today, and she's also included some links to titles that you might be interested in that would count towards reading diverse. So let's see who's the top reader in this next challenge. Remember, it ends December 4th.
We want to take a moment to acknowledge the following students and staff members who celebrate birthdays this week. From all of us here at Marshall, we'd like to wish you a happy birthday. Marshall students, we encourage you to take some time tomorrow and watch the election coverage. Surprise your parents and explain to them what the Electoral College is and how it works. And when the next election takes place, 8th graders, guess what? You'll be graduating from high school. So take this time, experience this important moment in our history with your family. Today's quote is from someone familiar, Thurgood Marshall. His quote is, "Where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, and pass it on." Where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, and pass it on. Remember, Marshall students, no matter how you feel, we believe in you and your potential for greatness, because together we are Marshall and we are destined for greatness. Please be safe and have a great week of virtual instruction.